I don't really care what user 8629543 says about me. I was just shocked about like how brutal so quickly it was. And I've gone to this thing of I've been looking at comments of other videos. I'm like, is this just what it is on TikTok and like Instagram Shorts and TikTok, my two, where I was looking at how bad the comments could be. And it was really funny of like, it wasn't really bad for skits. It was really about, a skit was about the skit. When it was a negative video, it was mainly like positive towards the negative video. It was when it was a positive statement that people were like, how the fuck can you believe that, you ignorant, like.
I'm not to not even move on, but I'm not trying to be dismissive of your feelings. Like, as much as you're surprised by this, I am surprised that you're surprised.
Okay.
Like, it amazes me. Like, in logical sense, it doesn't surprise me because I feel like you're relatively off the internet, like
I'm not on any of it.
Social media apps, so like that. But like, you know how people are in general, and I don't think it's your. I want to kind of blame / like fault your naiveness because you don't know how it is. But secondly, like, that's what you signed up for. Like, I'm shocked that this is surprising you. People are mean, and people are anonymous. They get to say whatever they want.
Yeah. I'm not shocked by that. I started, as I'm doing my new blogs about this. I almost sent it to you today, but it's definitely not finished yet. The title's like, I had the smallest amount of internet success and I hated it, which is like a great blog, which is the only way to describe that. Because by all means, that was a very successful video for us. Very successful. And I did not like, but I think the next one, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna read the comments. Or I'll read them I'll read them when I'm on a good setting, not hungover on a Friday.
Yeah, I think the mood at which you read it also depends.
Absolutely.
I feel like if you had such a great day or something, you read that and you're like, oh, like people had comments. Wow, great. I feel like you'd have stopped there.
Yeah. And that's. I mean, I don't think that any of that's bad. The comments. The worry of the month rule happening is like, we do have some moderate amount of success. I do get recognized a little bit. I'm like, I didn't like that.
You'll recognize?
No.
Oh.
But any level of success, it will get there. Maybe I don't like it. Maybe we're not successful at all. Maybe I'm overestimating people recognizing me. I don't know.
But you could get to that point and just like transition. If we want to do the bigger stuff that we've been talking about, like, why not do it on the side where like you front me, you cold call, and you still have like ownership the same way that you do now. We're still achieving all great things. And you could step in momentarily.
Oh yeah, no, that's keeping me going.
Okay.
I don't.
Like, you don't need to be on this podcast. I'm not saying,
I'm
not saying get off my podcast, but I'm saying the things that I can't do or don't really want to do in regards to this.
I think I'd thrive.
Which is why I've been pushing this off. Yeah. Like, if you were, I'm not telling you like become an administrative assistant, but I'm saying if you're scheduling.
I've expressed this to you.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want to do.
Yeah,
so I'm saying, like, think big.
And we have a little office and we have a little assistant.
Because I feel like if we get to that point where it's like 100K and you get to that month rule or whatever, but like we have so much IP built up that we don't really necessarily want to get off of it. It's just that you don't want to, because fame dies quickly in this saturated market. Like, if we keep these things, but let's say you're not active for a month, but our brand like collectively still grows, people will stop remembering you. Yeah. Like, we'll start replacing you with other people.
I think we do a good job of managing each other, and I've talked about us being partners. Now I'm hyped up again. You need to do a good job of reminding me of that.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
I'm not going to cancel you. No. Since you're going to cancel me.
Yeah, sure.
And two, at 100K, and that's like 100K is a good limit. So like, that's really not that much, but it's enough. For me to I can find people to be on a 100K interview with you.
That's what I'm saying.
Occasional interview with me.
And at our age and our level of comfort, that's a metric I'm willing to like go full in on. I don't think you understand the gravity of 100K. Like, especially with this kind of format, it's not us dancing in front of a camera. Yeah. Like, we have a platform. We have 100K. Blah. Do you want to come? Like that. That's it.
I have thought of so many growth metrics though. One of which is just we should shoot TikToks at some point. We should shoot
sure.
All that. You're gonna dance naked at one point.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
All right,
that's the line we want to draw.
Let me pull up the Notion. So we have to get through 3 sessions today.
Let's go.
Do you know our watch through metrics on the YouTube videos?
I can check, yeah.
Who actually like watches this far? Nothing matters yet.
Sorry.
That's good. So
that's sick.
This is the easy tangent, and that's what I was going to kick off with anyways.
Let's go.
What do you think the pros and cons of fame are? We just talked about this. And this is like a great blogger, Morgan Housel. I'm going to talk about him so much. He talks about like the best scenario in life is rich and anonymous. And I've read that for years. I've believed that for years. He talks about Will Smith said like, fame's phenomenal on the way up, pretty good when you're famous, and sucks when you start to lose it. Probably because you get addicted to it and all that. I think rich enough. Like, again, I don't think people actually want to be recognized constantly. I don't think they want to be recognized when they're out with their family. Just imagine like Joe Rogan. He can't go anywhere but not be recognized. Or actually, he's less political than Obama, who definitely can't go anywhere without being recognized. They also became famous later in life. Logan Paul lives in Puerto Rico, probably for a reason in a giant compound. I don't think fame's all that hyped up.
It's not to like promote myself, but I actually made a video a year ago on like fame and why I'm the perfect person to talk about it, because I'm not actually famous, but I've experienced what that feels like at a micro scale where it doesn't actually affect my life. So there's some level of authority, but minus the like higher level of cringe. I will take a step back from myself and say, I know varying range of people who are famous that have taken fame very differently. As in, without mentioning who, I've worked directly with people who are like some of the most famous people in the world, like, and the most definition, like textbook definition of fame.
Was this your Korean people?
Yes.
Yes.
But
you can't name them.
No, I can't name them. The people that like
very famous.
Very famous.
I know who they are.
Yes.
Very famous.
Very famous. By
Front page Wall Street Journal, occasionally famous.
Textbook definition of famous. Everyone knows who they are. You recognize them on the street. I've also
depends who you are.
Depends who you are.
I wouldn't recognize them.
The average person, I think, would. The average like person on the internet would. If you're on social media a lot, I think you would.
Okay. That's your feed though.
It is. But
you would know the average person. My parents know their name,
exactly,
and they're not in that bubble
exactly.
at all. But they have been on front page of newspapers.
And then I would say there's people that are famous within circles. As in, like, I know people that are super successful. They're not recognizable on the street.
That's what I want to be.
But if you go to like a networking event, everyone knows who they are.
Yeah.
There's that fame.
Yeah.
And there's people that are like on the micro level, gods among men, but not actually like famous. I would say that's like 2021 Brian Junn in like investment banking college circle, which is like insanely small demographic. But I would say at some point, I'm sure some of them knew me more than like some big bank CEO face.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that there are people out there, including myself, cringe alert, where fame actually is a goal. Like there is a high to like getting recognized. I remember during that season of like people recognizing me, I fell into this bad habit of like the week I moved to New York, I kept looking.
I need this to be a self-contained episode. I'm now aiming for 20-minute episodes. Tell us about the first time you got recognized. So talk about just very succinct, kicking off your YouTube channel, what it was about, and then the first time being recognized.
Perfect. I started my YouTube 2020, January, talked about investment banking, and kicked off because COVID hit. No one had jobs ever in my finance careers. Blew up like crazy. Most core audience was college kids looking for banking jobs, and then non-banking people trying to get into banking. I lived in Chicago, and I was walking the streets of Chicago with my friend. I won't mention his name actually. We're walking.
How many weeks in?
I want to say this was like 8-9 months in.
Okay.
But post my first peak.
Yeah.
5,000 subscribers.
5,000. Okay. So like not that many.
Not that many. So
you had 5,000 subscribers.
Videos averaging like 5,000 to 10,000 views.
So what was it like getting recognized on 5,000 subscribers on the streets of Chicago?
This is an interesting thing. They didn't know my name. They just stopped me. Was super excited. They had just seen my video that day because I had just uploaded. They literally said, "Hey, I just watched blah 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 this morning. You're that guy."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." And then there's an awkward pause. Not sure what to do because I'm not known for being good looking. I'm not a celebrity. So I can't say like, do you want a picture? It's just kind of awkward. But he goes out of it. He's like, I need to get a picture with you right now. And I think here's the kicker. I think people have a false perception of how famous people are. Like if they're famous to you, they are famous. So even if you're not objectively famous, they might feel like you're super famous.
Yeah.
And I've had that more than once. It's kind of relevant. On Saturday, my YouTube has clearly tapered off. I was at a nightclub for a birthday party.
Oh yeah, where'd you go by the way?
Den Social.
Okay.
Down in New York.
So you had a nightclub in New York City.
Yep. Very like predominantly Asian American nightclub. Also a lot of finance pros. Not surprised. I was on the second floor. My friend rented a table because it was his birthday. Happy birthday, Aaron. And I looked tapered over. Like there's a second floor, so I peeked over, which is like bumping, not phenomenal. And I clicked eyes with 3 individuals. And I thought they were just having a good time, maybe drunk. So I was like, whatever. They're like, I sat down on my couch. The 3 people came up, started violently shaking my hand, and it was like, big fan, years of watching Brian Junn write. Holy crap. They're like, can we bother you? I was like, yeah.
What are these people? Are they Korean? Are they like what are they?
They're Asian American. They're probably like right after college or maybe like in college. It was 2 guys, 1 girl.
Okay.
They all knew me.
Yeah.
I assume they're all from the same finance circle or some like startup or whatever. I think the setting mattered. Like I was upstairs in a nice table. That wasn't my table. And like multiple things clicked in their head. There was like this famous guy who does YouTube, like has table, like whatever. I was just invited to this birthday party. But it was like that happens quite more than not. Like I've had people overly excited to see me, especially in comparison to my fame.
I've been with you. It's weird because you're not that big.
Oh, Mike has been with me.
More than one. Like on a
actually more than once. More than once.
But that's always. I always had to explain this to my brother. Like, it doesn't take much to get recognized.
No,
at all.
I don't think so.
I'm like, Brian has 25,000 subscribers and he gets recognized on the streets of New York. And my brother, who was like, no, that's gonna be like 1 million people. I'm like, no. And I get it. Like in your mind, if they're famous, they're famous. Like, okay, yes, you're not Ryan Gosling, but like you're like, oh, I saw that guy on the internet. He's posting. He has brand awareness. If you're famous, you're famous.
I'm made to believe that people don't really memorize metrics as much as you do, which makes you more critical of yourself than others are. As in, they see one video of me, and the video has 100,000 views. Yeah. I am someone with 100,000 views. Yeah. They don't see when that video was posted. They don't go to my channel and check all my recent views history or whatever. Yeah. I am Brian Jun, the YouTuber with 100,000 views. That's it.
Do you think, and now we're going on a tangent, and I hate this because I try to keep us on track. Do you think when Disney was acquiring all the Marvel stuff, Bob Iger, he made a bet in the era of streaming that content is king. Your first videos, like, they weren't very good quality-wise,
Shut on my iPhone 11.
But content is king. Do you believe that?
I 100% believe content is king. I think it's not about quality. Like, all my creator mentors, including like Casey Neistat, equipment doesn't matter, gadgets don't matter. I truly think it's content and aligning what you want with those people. The only content that I've been working on that actually is popping off these days is TikTok, zoom to my face, pimples all over, ugly F, no script, no editing. It's because I'm getting people exactly what they want at what time, in a time frame, and I have the authority of a Korean-looking person talking about Korean things. That's literally all that matters.
Right.
Is that gonna make money? I don't know, but it's getting millions of views. My video from Saturday, 1.2 million views in 3 days.
That's great. What was the video?
Me talking about a hot Korean tutor teaching math, and people are like fighting in the comments about whether he's hot or not.
That's insane.
Here's the additional part. I think, especially for TikTok, it's about impressions over views. Like, as in, yes, a million people viewed it, but you have to understand, I thought to myself, if you're an moderately socially active Asian American or Korean liking person where your TikTok algorithm is suited a certain way, probably between the age of like 15 to 30, you have seen my face over the weekend. Like, I'm almost certain. In New York. To a certain point. Because this is a very filtered population to begin with. Like New York people. But now I'm filtering it further down.
Yeah.
I am almost, like, we're next to K-Town right now. Yeah. I walk down that K-Town. People don't know my name. But people have definitely been like, is that the guy that I saw last weekend? 100%. Which is why I disagree with your brother's statement of like, you need 1 million, whatever. I don't think so at all.
That's fascinating because that's so true. Like your market, like, it's all about finding the niche in the internet too.
No.
Which is sort of an issue for our podcast because we have no niche. And maybe we'll find it and maybe the niche is just us. That makes sense. Okay. So you had a moderate amount of fame from YouTube. You started getting recognized. I asked you, what are the downsides of fame that you project? I doubt you've had them yet, but maybe you have.
I think I have. I have.
Really?
And this, it's all in my head. I need to re-emphasize because I'm not even close to being famous. So this is something that only we could talk about so proudly because it's not actually there. There have been moments where I've been to the same club, this nightclub, Den Social, which I think is a great niche population for me. It's probably the highest concentrated people that recognize me. As in the 10 plus times I've been there, there's not been a single time where I haven't been recognized.
Okay.
Not a single exception. And around the 5th or 6th time, I started getting self-conscious. I was single at the time when I started peak going a lot. I would be on the dance floor. And whenever people met eyes with me, I went through a million different thoughts of like, does that person know who I am? Do I need to go say hello? Is that person going to say hi to me? Am I overthinking? Am I being cringe? Do I think I'm popular even though I'm not? And most times they did know me. They came up to me. They started shaking hands. They offered to buy me drinks. They asked me if I was rich. There was one time where they were like, oh, like you're banking bro, like buy me drinks. Probably like maybe half jokingly, half not. Yeah. There was a repeat. I met a guy like 2 weeks ago at the club. 2 weeks later, I met the same guy. And he got kind of upset at me that I didn't remember his name. Like those things started piling up. Right. And during that peak season, I was like, okay, maybe there are bad parts of being famous. Yeah. If this scaled at 100x, 1000x, you can't control it anymore. I probably can't come to this club anymore.
That's insane. And now, I mean, project that to 100,000 and you still think you want to be famous? Project that to 1 million and you still think you want to be famous?
I think one, I'm betting on the fact that I'm probably not going to be that famous. But
Okay.
two, I think I could probably handle it to a certain degree.
You couldn't go anywhere.
No.
You and Claire couldn't go anywhere.
No. Again,
is it the life you want?
I might go like this because we're talking about like very improbable things, but perhaps, maybe you're right. But I'm made to believe, can I just say really honest things? Like, given who I am, looks wise, like Asian American, for example, and the direction that we're taking, the agreements that we've had on like what to cover and what not to cover, I don't think we'll get to a point where the masses know me to any degree. I think very niche opportunities will know me.
I think there's something to be said about it's such a New York City problem.
Yes.
It's probably why everyone leaves New York City.
Yes.
Casey Neistat, I watched he was on Logan Paul's.
He was.
I really enjoyed I watched almost the whole thing. He talked about running at some point, so I definitely really enjoyed it. But he was saying why he moved to LA and New York, and it's kind of the reasons you think. New York is exciting, it's energetic, like, but he also said, like, yeah, I get why you hate it. It smells like piss. Like, yeah, I've broken up fights with my doorman before, but it's exciting, it's energetic. But the way he described LA and why he didn't like it, he's like, oh yeah, you have that whole thing where you drive to your gate, you wait for your doorman, the guy to buzz you in, you go in, you park, they give you the all clear, you get out of your car, and he's like, it's so dystopian. He didn't feel safe going on runs because there weren't people around. Like, cops, I guess, wouldn't do anything in LA. And that's like, I get why famous people, I guess, move to LA because, like, you want the dystopianness, but it's also dystopian.
But my other thing here is I've never actually done this exercise before, but I don't think that the type of fame that I'm capable of is a type of fame that people will disturb me at. As in, like, I'm not a good looking person. Like, as in, like, I'm not going to be famous for my looks.
Sure.
I'm not going to be an artist. I'm not going to be a pop star. I'm not going to be a all-class actor where people will chase me. I think people will be excited to see me the same way that they're excited now. Yeah. But I think it's too much of a niche type of fame where it won't be a disturbing fame. Yeah. I think even if 1 million people know me, it's not the type where they're going to go out of their way to come ask me for a picture.
That's true. You won't get swamped.
Exactly.
But Joe Rogan gets swamped. Top of our game.
That's Joe Rogan.
Our industry.
I had a fascinating talk yesterday where we were making a comment about how I'll personally get canceled for this, but it's not a thing that you're how Korean actors, in my opinion, it seems like aren't as good looking as before, and it's kind of like a uniformly agreed upon thing between
just don't TikTok this.
Between the like 30, 40, or 50 year olds, whatever. And it could be just like a time over time thing where, like, I'm sure our parents agree that, like, Leo at his prime was, like, better looking than some of the, like, shabby folks, like, these days. And my friend made a fascinating point that, I'll do this for the clip. The reason why they feel like the quality, if not the diversification of actorship and talent in the entertainment industry has become so diluted over time is because people that have the attributes for being famous could get it on their own. They could use means of social media to create their own channels, create their own strategies, and create their own companies even, and so that they can pop off by themselves. As in, back in the day, there's only one real route for fame. It was Hollywood. And and every one of the best looking, best acting, best talented people were going to the exact same auditions, and only one of them would survive. And the rest would probably either give up, become maybe like a musical actor, or go do a regular job and fade away. Now, if you know that you're good looking, if you know you're famous or could want to be famous, and if you know that you're talented, you could start a YouTube channel and do it by yourself. Yeah. So more and more, the concentration dilutes and everyone has their own venue for getting successful. And the reason why I want to get on this tangent is because that I don't think is only limited to fame and nor entertainment. I think it's also everywhere. I'm willing to bet that over time, the skill set or the talent level or the quality of the average person in any organization dilutes or gets lowered over time because they can do it on their own. The age of the self-contractorship is only growing.
Are you saying in media and all industries?
I think in many industries.
How am I going to do tech sales by myself?
Tech sales requires scales, but I think that's perhaps an exception. But I'm saying the number of people, I'm obviously in a bubble, but the number of people that want to do their own thing, whether they're in misjudgment or actually believe so, or now there's resources to do so that makes you misjudge, is continuously growing.
I think we are our generation, whether that's millennials or Gen Z, I'm not sure, has a over fixation on starting their own thing, being the next Facebook, being the next Amazon, when most of us should just make the companies that exist better. I think that's an interesting take, and I've expressed this so many times. Are just like, we want, and this is, I'm going to sound like a boomer, we want things so quickly, and that includes like, they want to get rich really quickly, they want overnight company success, they want to like be their own boss today and not in 20 years, whereas you could be in like a good company, you could help improve it, you could fight, what the word, it getting worse.
Millennial Gen Z. It's the clear feel right here. But Mike, do you agree though that, let's say that is right in principle, and if anything, I agree with you. I think that we want things so fast, and a lot of people that stick it out are actually going to win over time. But let's say you work for company A, giant company, let's say, and more and more, the incoming class of new folks that are analysts or like lower level of this company undoubtedly becomes lower in, I'm just going to use the word quality, like lower GPA or lower schools, lower skill sets, lower talents, because all the top talents that would have been in that pool in earlier years are starting their own thing.
Yeah, because they go to startups.
Or do they go to startups?
I believe this.
I think it's a real thing, personally. Whether you like it or not, then overall, the quality of company A is going to go down. Unless you believe the quality of the individuals don't matter for the company, the quality of the company, which I think that's wrong. You want every individual to be great for the entire company to be great. So all I'm saying is that is, I think, happening.
Right. I think there's a big factor in the decline of companies. Like, okay, someone has a new idea. They start a company, them and 10 people. It's a good idea. They're good at it. It starts to grow. Who are they going to poach from? The people that are in the industry, the other smart people who had the other good idea. Those people start to leave. Good idea company, startup gets bigger and bigger and bigger. They hire more people away. They have more money, more revenue, more market share. They slowly take from the big company. The big company goes extinct. That's the whole cycle.
Which has always happened to a certain degree.
I think you need to know where, this is it. This is my hot take. I don't want it to be a TikTok, but my hot take. You need to know what type of person you are. You need to know if you're the Sam Altman 10th hire, the Sam Altman 100th hire, the Sam Altman millionth hire. I'm not a 1. I'm not a 10. I'm not going to be the 100th hire probably. I think I'm probably like, I don't know where I'd be in the startup hire process. You didn't know where you are in terms of how talented you are. Everyone in our generation thinks they can be Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. You're not. I'm not. You're not. Not possible. We're not Joe Rogan, which we want to be.
I think that was a perfect TikTok clip. You think that's cancelable?
No, I think it's fine.
Oh, that's great.
Let me review it.
I'm gonna post it, but I think first I'll push back and say I think I am Sam Altman, but I can't agree more that I think the two dichotomies.
What does GPT stand for?
What
does GPT stand for?
I'm gonna cut this. I think everyone, because they only see the Sam Altmans. Like no one knows ChatGPT's or OpenAI's 10th employee. Like that person is not famous.
But they're rich.
But they're rich.
Well, they have a weird model. I don't know what their model is.
I don't know. But they're
they
not.
Should be, but they have a weird model.
Many people in tech know who Sam Altman is. No one knows who Sam Altman's 10th employee is. Yeah. So everyone sees Sam Altman. There's like self-projections onto Altman. And they're like, I have some good ideas. Like I'm gonna be Sam Altman. And realistically, I think most people are some level of ambitious or selfish or like they want money, right? So no one's goal growing up is like, I want to be Sam Altman's 10th employee. No parent in their mind. Sure.
My goal. That's my point. That's my point.
Some parent, no parent is like, your role model should be Apple's 125th employee. No,
but they should.
People are like, look at Steve Jobs. People are like, look at Obama, whatever it is. That person. I think, to your point, the happy medium, the happy place to be is recognize what you are and settle. Like grab onto that and just there, because realistically, not everyone can be Sam Altman. Actually, in fact, most people can be Sam Altman, and not every startup can succeed. In fact, most startups fail.
Yeah.
And I think there's this false belief that I don't know. Actually, having worked with a lot of founders, I don't think every founder actually believes that they're going to be the best. You should think that you're the best to try these things, but I think the issue is that everyone now wants to be this, which is the problem. Yeah. And I think it could be, yes, this is anecdotal, but there's so many people around me that are like, I'm going to start a company. And I'm just like, no, like, dude, come on. Like, you either need way more experience or that idea sucks, or like you don't have the talent to do this. Over and over and over again.
I think it's funny. Like, you're probably wrong about why they can't, But you're right about that they can't. Like who knows? Who's to say why they can't?
Of course.
I think I'm recognizing like
anyone can.
The level
anyone
of luck involved.
Timing is everything.
And so like maybe they like no, like any person you talk to is like no, you like can't. I don't know why you're gonna fail, but you're gonna fail.
Of course,
that's the easy bet.
Of course.
Like, something's gonna knock them out.
Timing is everything.
Timing you can't make.
But I think
bank goes under. Silicon Valley
I think the
Bank.
difference here is that I wouldn't be surprised if like within my tech startup circle, everyone's like, I want to be a founder. Sure, like you're around it. I'm saying like random people I know that are the farthest thing from starting a company. Or all of a sudden, like, I'm going to start this because they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok, seeing these videos of like, make $10,000 today. Or like, this is how to start a startup. And they think they can do it. But yes, they can, but they most likely can't.
They want to do drop shipping, the next real estate tycoon.
Maybe start a podcast or something.
Start a podcast. The beauty of the podcast is like, no one can knock us out.
That's true.
In reality, like YouTube, I guess.
YouTube.
That's all. That's the beauty of this. Like, we just have to be able to pay $50.
It needs to be more decentralized.
Decentralized? Put on the blockchain. Put on the blockchain. That's funny. This is good. We're going to cut here.